Well, thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate you coming out here.
This is really cool.
As you said, the main event's happening right now, so that means you chose us over that, so really appreciate that. Welcome to the How to Make a Podcast from the Other Castle podcast. First question we kind of have is, what is the Other Castle? And we're wondering if any of you have listened before.
Totally
so.
fine.
It's totally fine. I very much understand that. So we are the Other Castle. We do the plot, lore, and more of video games. What we do is we tell the production of a video game, and then we go into the entire narrative of the video game itself. Basically turns video games into audiobooks in the end.
Yeah, it also starts with the history of who made the game, why they made it, and where those stories come from. So it's like if you want to watch The Last of Us, we give you a crash course on literally everything you could need to know and to like show up your friends to know everything about it. It's very fun.
And who is the Other Castle? That's us. My name is Tom. I am the producer. I do all the tech stuff. I do the editing. I do the directing, a lot of the writing. I am one of the co-hosts, so I do half of the episodes.
I'm the other co-host, and I do not do the editing. But I have a marketing background, so I do a lot of our social and marketing and pitching and getting us into doing fun stuff like this.
And you're
hang out with you guys. And I'm Andrea. I'm the girl one.
Our question here, mainly for everybody, is why are you starting a podcast? And our question to you is, what's your reason for starting a podcast, if anybody wants to share?
Well,
yeah?
not officially starting a podcast, but sort of being encouraged to dip my toe into that. So
Okay.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
for no other reason than to be able to do something that's a little creative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To deal with the drudgery of the job that very much is.
I feel that.
Yeah, very much understand that feeling.
I'm in high school, and me and two of my other friends have like a lot of opinions and thoughts about things
Sure.
that we really want like a platform to share on.
Yeah.
That's
We've been
awesome.
doing that for our school and for like administration for a while.
Okay.
And I have
Cool.
thoughts at least about like sharing that more on a bigger level.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
So as we hear, like, across generations, we have very different reasonings for wanting to do podcasting, which I think is fantastic. So there's a lot of different reasons, and we have found that whatever your reasons end up being, these three questions tend to be the most important that you need to answer for yourself as you design your show. So first and foremost, and is very important, is do you have a unique take?
So anyone can sit in front of a microphone and talk, myself included. But the key is making that talk meaningful and interesting, because if you have nothing special to say, you're kind of just shouting into the void. It's like if you have a Twitter account and you're just retweeting things. If you have nothing special to say, it's going to be difficult to build an audience because they can find that anywhere. If you're too basic, it's not special. And you're going to waste your time. And we don't want anyone to waste their time.
Yeah, and with no audience, you're really going to find yourself discouraged, and you're going to quit a lot earlier than if you did have an audience, definitely.
Yeah. And speaking of time, do you have the time to do a show?
Yeah, a single episode of our show, for example, takes upwards of 75 hours to complete one episode. Now, there's a lot of reason that goes into that. That is not going to be every podcast. That is not going to be your show necessarily. That's just the amount of time that it takes us, and we have agreed to that amount of time for each show. So you need to figure out for yourself how much time you have to put towards your show, and then decide from there how long and or often you want to air your show.
Yeah,
So-
and there's no definitive answer
Yeah.
to it. You can do a 5-minute check-in every day. You can do an hour a month. You can do a seasonal thing. Like our show is seasonal, so we do 10 episodes, then we take a couple months off, then we do another 10 episodes. Because with our show, we have to play all these games. So it's like, if I have to do every Uncharted game, I can't do that on a weekly basis. I will lose my mind. I need a real job.
Right.
I'll go crazy. But it can be as simple as having a conversation with your friends once a week over coffee and having a good time, or getting together for happy hour after work once a week or twice a week. Just whatever you can structure is just something you have to commit to, which feels obvious, but is a tricky thing to remember sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard to understand that commitment going directly into it because you don't see yourself 5 years out still doing that exact same thing, but you kind of have to picture yourself still doing it 5 years out when you're kind of making that commitment at the time. And finally, does this already exist? Do some research. Find out if what you're trying to do is already out there. And it's okay if it already does exist, which is why question number 1 is so important.
Yeah, there's a trend right now of people just reading Reddit posts. And that's the entire show, which makes me feel crazy.
Right.
Because my brain can't wrap around just reading social media and being like, let me monetize this. But a lot of people do it. And some are rising to the top because they're comedians or they're funny, or it's like, I'm getting into wedding drama and I'm a divorce lawyer. That's hilarious. But it's not going to work for everyone. If you're just like, I want to read this and say, that's crazy, that's not going to help anyone.
Yeah, but it's okay if you want to read Reddit posts. But it's just make sure that you're going to have a unique take on how you're reading those Reddit posts. Otherwise, you're just going to be a drop of water in that lake of content.
Yeah.
So now that you have a topic and a take and a strategy, you need to ask one more question. And that is, what kind of podcast should I do? So there are a bunch of different types. One of the most popular is obviously the interview podcasts. You probably see these the most commonly on YouTube. You get those on Spotify. The big part of those is that you need to make sure you're the one reaching out to the people you want to interview, which does become difficult because you have to have that bravery to get a lot of no's from people. But at the same time, just asking can get you a yes.
There's also narrative podcasts. There's a big wave of people doing storytelling or taking fiction stories or even getting into historical things. So just telling an overall arc of here's what happened, here's why, and that's part of what we do as well, just how video games get created. Mm-hmm. You can also do reviews of things. I weirdly love food reviews. I don't know why. I like being like, yeah, tell me if that sandwich is good or not.
Right.
I'm never going to eat it, but I want to know.
But there's movie reviews, you're reviewing your favorite TV shows.
You can review regular things too, not just sandwiches.
Technology things. There's our show is a mixture of that historical and narrative, so you can be combining different ones. You need to see if you have a co-host or if you're going to be a solo podcast. And the other part of having a co-host is making sure they have the same time and commitment that you do. I have a very good friend. They had a successful podcast for 2-3 years. Her co-host ghosted her one day.
We still don't know why.
Nobody knows why. They just never spoke again. The cast completely fell apart. But you got to make sure that you both have the same level of commitment that you're going to have, and make sure your chemistry is there, because other people are going to want to follow you because of your chemistry. Especially if you have that unique take, that chemistry is going to build upon that.
Yeah, we're married, so he can't get away from me. We build date night into recording of like, all right, we're going to go to dinner, and then we have to work.
Yeah. So then there's news podcasts. Those are the ones that you find a lot of people like those 5-minute podcasts that just kind of talk about the topics of the day, maybe throw an opinion here or there, and then you just ask your audience, all right, what do you guys think? And a lot of very successful podcasts are 5 minutes long. So next, now that you know like the style that you're going to do, you got to ask yourself, should I do audio or video? And when we started in 2017 on our show, audio was really the only option. Video had not really come into the mainstream in terms of doing a podcast, which I know now a lot of people think podcast equals video. Here's some facts about the differences between the two, just to help you guys decide which one you want to start off with. When it comes to audio, you have a single avenue that you're navigating. If you've never done editing before, it's a really easy way to learn how to structure your show, how to learn the storytelling of your show, how to just kind of learn what's going to work and what's not going to work, because you're not going to be distracted by all these other different elements going into your podcast. It requires a lot less equipment. You just need a microphone in front of you and a computer to record it onto.
Yeah. A lot of people do these on their phones now too.
Honestly, there are a lot of microphones you can buy that are of lower quality than just the newest iPhone. So yeah, if you got a decent phone, you've got a decent microphone already. And then some of us just straight up have a face for radio, so we don't feel that we need to necessarily be seen. And that's quite all right. If you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be received, you can be in just the audio-only era. And then bonus, you can do it in your underwear if you really want to. You don't have to do your makeup, you don't have to do your hair, you don't have to wear anything special. We wear a blanket because it's warm and cozy.
I'm usually wrapped up in a blanket when we podcast. I want to feel safe and warm.
Yeah. But with video, you have several avenues that you're navigating all at once. So if you have experience or talent with video and feel comfortable working with multiple angles, lighting, effects, you got to do set design, you need to do editing across the audio and the video on top of that. Everything that goes into video production, if you feel comfortable with that, it really is one of the most powerful tools in podcasting. But if you're just learning, I highly recommend starting with just audio and then transitioning later into video, which is something that we have done ourselves with our video setups here already. Yeah. So we're not a fully video podcast ourselves. On our Patreon side, we do a lot of video content over there now.
Yeah.
But video is really easy to help promote your show. You take those down into shorts, you do that on Reels, TikToks. That's a great way to reach a new audience, especially, because that's where people are going to find new podcasts.
Yeah.
So I guess a big question is, how did we get started on podcasting?
So I was the podcast marketing manager for a startup that was terrorizing podcasts for like 5 years, about 10 years ago. It was a startup that was on almost everything. I had a ridiculous budget. So it was my job to listen to a lot of shows and figure out if we wanted to write them checks or not. And I fell in love with the medium. I got so into it. I was listening to new shows every day, and I got jealous, and I wanted to be a part of it. 'Cause I was like, this is so much fun. Everyone seems to be having a great time. Let's do it. I want to be a part of it. So I was talking to Tom, and I said, I want to do this. Let's close the gap and figure it out.
So on my end, I was dabbling in audio engineering. I'd done a couple audiobooks as a narrator. And so I was like, okay, when you came to me with this idea, I thought, how can I take something that I love to do and combine it into a podcast? So I'm a lifelong gamer. And so I asked myself, are there any podcasts out there that tell the entire story of a video game? And while there are plenty of video game podcasts out there where it's two people giving an opinion, they're talking about it, they're reviewing it, there wasn't anybody giving a very detailed beat-by-beat, moment-to-moment retelling of what the story was. And that's when the idea for our show kind of sparked. And we wanted to give those history lessons on how the games were made. We think that was a very important thing that a lot of people wanted to find out about, and then just getting to tell them a story, and then people come to us saying like, oh, you keep me company at work all day long, kinds of things, because we have episodes going into the 5-hour range. Next up that you need to learn how to do is how to earn your audience after you get your show started.
So we started putting episodes together, and then we had to find a way to get the show to the right people, because otherwise, just shouting into the void, and that's no fun. And it started really slow.
Extremely slow.
We're not big on social. I don't have clout to just have an audience walking in, so we really started from zero. And we found out, and this is a real fact, over 90% of podcasts that start do not make it past episode 3. So if you make it to episode 4, you are way ahead of the pack.
Entirely.
Like leaps and bounds ahead of other people, which is a bonkers number, but it's completely true.
Yeah, and honestly, if you've never made a podcast before, you're not going to want a lot of people hearing those early episodes. No matter how great you might find those episodes when you first do it, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it is. Trust me, it is. It was wonderful that you did that. But you'll look back a year later and be like, oh my Lord, I don't want anybody to ever hear that again, because you'll see that you're going to grow and you're going to learn and get better at doing the podcast itself. And during those first couple episodes, we had 9, 12 listeners at most, and they stuck with us for years and years, thankfully, because now we're up in the thousands, which is fantastic.
Because now the show's really good.
Yeah, now the show's successful and we're doing really well, so we have a lot of people listening, but they had to stick through a lot of pretty bad content, I'm not going to lie, and we had to learn how to do our own show, and you're going to have to learn to do your show as well.
Now, the best way to get the ball rolling on your audience is, again, to simply exist. Get past episode 3 and you are golden. And then after that, it's a matter of being consistent with content that people want to hear. And from there, you can grow your audience. And that's the fun part. So as soon as you start earning your subscribers and getting people's buy-in and getting to spend time in people's ears, the best thing you can do is capitalize on the initial momentum and push harder. And growing is so much easier after you have a library of content. Again, after episode 3, you're in such a sweet spot to succeed and ramp up everything you want to accomplish. Now, there are a bunch of different avenues that you can take to start expanding your reach. Once you kind of get past that point, you're feeling good, you're feeling consistent, things are funny, or they're compelling, or they're starting conversations. Rage bait is valid. We don't do it, but I understand.
It does work.
It does work. So I have a couple tips on how to grow your audience once you're past that 3rd episode mark. If the show is something niche, like if it's on a show or a game or a region, go to those communities on social media, find them and talk to them. Like, all of you are here because you're fans of things. This is Fan Expo. We go to these all the time, so we're just nerds.
Yeah.
Not disparagingly, but I have some bad tattoos of silly cartoons. So we love things, and you have to find other people that love those things. It's great, and finding the communities are some of the best ways to grow what you're doing. this is something I haven't done, but I will preach, is to talk to your friends about your show.
Yes.
I did not tell anyone that I was doing a podcast for a very long time until we started getting recognition. So the first time I actually told my friends about our show was when we got a magazine spread. So Las Vegas Weekly connected with us, and they did a 2-page spread about our show. That'll be us someday.
They were excited about our spread.
Like, you did it! So we got a spread in Las Vegas Weekly. It was a 2-page spread. They did a photo shoot and an interview with us about our show and how we're doing, and it was really great. And that's when I told people in my life that I do this, and they went, "We didn't know you liked podcasts."
Yeah.
I am one.
Same thing for me. I didn't tell anybody pretty much until the same time, and they were mad at us that we didn't tell them about it. They're like, "We would have supported you for a long time and helped get those numbers up," and told our friends that also listen. So, make sure you're telling your friends and family about your show. Don't be hiding about it. And here's the thing is that otherwise you seem ashamed of your show, and you don't want to seem ashamed of your show. If you can't speak excitedly about your show, others aren't going to be excited to listen to your show. You all see it out here in the fandoms. You're seeing... You all want to know what's going on over there right now, hearing how excited this group is. I want to know what's going on in that group right now, because the excitement makes you excited for other people's fandoms just as much.
To that point in community, finding other shows or other creators that are involved. If you're doing a show about anime and you find a cosplayer that loves doing all those characters, connect with each other and maybe share some things, collaborate, just make friends. And I'm a big fan of just reaching out and seeing what happens. That's what got us here.
Yeah.
And if you don't ask, it's always going to be a no, and your life will never change. But if you ask and it's a yes, your life could change, and that's great.
For the better. Hopefully.
Usually, yeah. Fingers crossed. And if you do a video show, it's great to clip things for social media, things that are engaging, funny, scary, rage-baity. Just anything that starts a conversation is very important.
Yeah, and then make sure that you have ways for your fans to reach out to you. Have a Discord. Make sure you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube Shorts, you're on TikTok, all the different places your fans are going to be. Make sure you're there so they can find you there as well. And then they can interact with you. That's one of the best parts of just having a fandom at the end is you have a group of people that come to you wanting to talk to you about your show and about all the different things that you also love, and you just get to share and spread that love. And that's one of the best parts about podcasting is creating that community.
Now, the hard part about creating the community is pitching yourself. And it can be awkward to promote your own work. I completely understand that. I didn't tell anyone until the show started doing really well. And I was like, oh yeah, that. And we've been doing this for a while, and I can promise it gets easier to promote yourself.
Yeah.
So to get your show out, you do have to be your own biggest advocate and your own biggest fan, because you're your first fan from day one. You're the first person to believe in this. And if it helps mentally, you can separate yourself and think of yourself as, I'm the PR or marketing manager for the show, and the show is a product that I'm selling. So it doesn't feel as connected if it is something that weighs on you, because I would understand.
Yeah.
It happens. Something that I've used to pitch our show is to make a list of what makes our show special. That niche, that unique take, those parts that you do better than everyone else, or the gap that you fill that no one else is, that's what makes your show special, and that's the best way to pitch it. You can't be shy about it. You have to be like, I am here, this is awesome, this is great, no one else is doing it like me. I got this. As long as you can separate the arrogance from confidence, it lands well.
Yeah.
And we can certainly advocate that the work does pay off. It's difficult because you see Amy Poehler and celebrities walking into shows with millions of followers and millions of dollars, and of course they're great off the bat. She walked in with half of the cast of The Office and everyone else coming out, and we came in with, our silly bad mic talking at each other about The Last of Us, going, oh, and then the clickers are bad. Oh no. And it gets better, but
it does.
This is a space where there is 100% room for everyone to succeed. There is not a pie that we're getting slices of. This is a vast landscape where everyone can find their own niche and their own community and do well. There is no limit to who can succeed in podcasting, which is beautiful.
Yeah, and even after she won that Golden Globe and everything, she still wrote an article about how hard it is to start a podcast and grow an audience, and she had millions of people willing to just go in and listen right out the gate. So if you're not getting a lot of listeners right out the gate, don't let that discourage you. That's okay. It will grow as your quality grows and as you get better at it as well anyway.
And now the fun part of growing is the money.
Yeah, how to monetize your podcast.
So like we said, there's room for everyone to succeed, and there is money on the table, and you can get it. It's there, it will always be there, and it doesn't look like it's going away. And that is awesome. I stood in the way of us monetizing for a while. I said I do not want to even try and swing for money until we get to 1,000 followers on Spotify. And that was an arbitrary number, admittedly. I perhaps was nervous. I'm admitting to a lot of anxiety on this.
Okay.
I'm hearing myself be like, I was scared. It felt
like it makes you scared. You know, you're being vulnerable on a microphone.
Very vulnerable on a microphone. But I drew that line in the sand and said, okay, after 1,000, then this is real. Then there's 1,000 people that care. I cannot imagine 1,000 people. There might be in that room.
Yeah.
But we'll get, there's not 1,000 people I know. I can't list 1,000 people. I can't think of 1,000 people I've been related to in our entire bloodline. It was a crazy number that felt wild. And then we got there and I went, oh no. Now I have to back it up, which is fine. But that was where I drew a line. I think that you can probably get to a closer line than 1,000. I admittedly held us back a little bit on monetizing, but we're there now. And 1,000 podcast followers are a very valuable group of people because you spend time in their head. It's not like watching a YouTube video where it feels a little passive or seeing an influencer on Instagram where there is a barrier. With podcasting, if you're in someone's ear, it's incredibly intimate. They're listening in on a conversation like they're a friend and you're sitting around a table, which is, it can foster some parasocial relationships, but it's typically pretty good. Our fans are fantastic. I really enjoy all the conversations I've had with people who listen to our show.
Oh, yeah.
But it creates such an intimate connection, which brings people together in a really cool way. Now, in terms of monetization, there are networks that you can connect with and agency groups that can offer ad placement into your shows. There's something called dynamic insertions where they can take old episodes and put ads into them so you don't have to edit them yourselves. They kind of just pop up through tech magic.
AI. They use AI to do it.
Okay. I was dancing around that. There are people who will say, all right, put this ad out, and every time someone uses your code, we'll pay you $10, things like that. Sometimes brands will reach out to you directly. Sometimes they're really weird, and sometimes I block them. We chose not to do that route. I just don't like listening to ads on podcasts, and I didn't want anyone else to have to do that on the show I make. So we went down a route where we focused on fans, and we created a Patreon. So almost all of the money we earn through our show is through Patreon, and I'm really proud to say the show is net positive, and it is completely fan-fueled, and it's empowering us to be able to do things like this and travel. We live in Las Vegas, so we flew up this morning to do this, and I'm so happy.
Yeah,
Portland's beautiful also.
Yeah.
Oh
First
my
time
God.
in Portland ever.
We saw the mountains coming in, and I was like, we're in a postcard. This is gorgeous. I watched Portlandia. It was nothing like this. I did see birds on things. But with our Patreon, we have tiers as low as $2. We start with like a 7-day free trial. We're not gouging anyone. At our $2 tier, we have episodes come out a day early, and there is an extra episode a month, so they get 12 additional episodes that are behind that wall. And then we have higher tiers where we do video content. We've been doing game shows, and we're doing kind of more silly things. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying doing that. But that is like 95% of the money we make is through Patreon. And then the other 5% is kind of small things. Like we have a merch store, and that's not going gangbusters. It's kind of here and there. I think if we sell a hoodie, it's like $2 back to us.
Yeah.
That's not paying the bills.
No.
The Patreons are. But I'm very proud of the fact that our show is fan-funded.
Yeah, we're not at a point where either of us are quitting our day jobs at all. At all. But we are at a point where we can fly up to Portland and get to hang out with you guys. So that is something that is very cool. It does fund our life in really fun and cool ways. So it like I said, nothing like we're making so much money that we can quit our jobs, but hopefully someday I'd be happy to.
That would be wild.
And you all can too. And then so I guess that really does lead into like the famous saying of if an overnight success takes a decade. Yes, it's an old adage, but it's for a reason. Nothing we've said here today is a get famous quick plan, like at all. So please don't think of it as that. You may see someone like with monumental and fast success and think, oh my God, that happened so fast, but behind the scenes on their end, it took a really long time and a lot of work and a lot of dedication to get to that point.
And you don't want to be a get famous quick. Like if you think of real overnight successes, like the best case scenario is being Hawk Tuah. Unfortunately, that is a terrible situation to be in, is to be an overnight success like her. She had a show, it lasted 19 episodes, and I think she's being sued for like Bitcoin scamming or something.
Yeah, crypto
so
scams.
You want to thoughtfully create success and thoughtfully create your community and your craft of whatever you do.
And you don't want to be afraid of making mistakes either. Finished is better than perfect, honestly. Like, don't sit there and like sweat the small details on your show when you're first getting started, especially. We have plenty of mistakes on our show. There are times where we restarted sentences and I forgot to edit that out. There was one time where my microphones died and only my laptop picked it up. It sounds terrible. It's just the audio quality is awful on that episode. We are 11 seasons in. For the first time ever, we missed an air date because my hard drive died on us. Little things are going to happen to you, big things are going to happen to you. The important part is just pushing through it and not letting it stop you from creating great content.
Yeah.
So we kind of have just some final thoughts. We love podcasting. It's extremely fun. Sitting in front of a microphone feels very comfortable to us now, honestly. It's not something that we felt comfortable doing right out the gate, even though we feel very comfortable speaking to each other nonstop.
We've been married for a while.
Yeah.
But there's so much room to succeed in here. There's so much room to have fun. There's so much room to add to a conversation, to start conversations, and to bring your thoughts into the world in a really cool way that is accessible, which is awesome. And I hope that something cool comes out of this show. And if you have shows, please send them to me. I want to listen to them and see where this goes.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there is no competition when it comes to podcasting. You know, as long as you're creating good content, people will listen. They'll just slot you in right next to their other favorites as well. So it's not like you're competing for people's times at a certain time. There's room for everybody.
Yeah, the space will never be too crowded for a good idea to blossom.
Yeah, absolutely not. And since you guys all came to this, please, like, you can use us as a resource. Please scan the QR code that you're seeing on here, because that'll take you to like all of our links. We've got our email address on there. You are welcome to reach out and ask for advice anytime you want.
Yeah.
If you want to subscribe to our show, you are more than welcome to do that. We would love it.
Yeah, just don't listen to the older episodes.
No.
Start in the fresher ones.
Yeah, the fresher the better, honestly. Yeah. And that's how you're going to feel about your show. Every single episode that you record, you're going to go, okay, that was my best episode. Like, that's how you're going to feel after a while. It's just every time we record a new episode and we're over 110 episodes in, we're just like, yeah, that one, finally, that was the good episode.
We did it.
So finally, I mean, for you guys, any questions that we didn't answer that you guys would like to hear about?
Yeah.
What kind of like editing software do you use?
That's a great question, honestly. So for audio especially, the most simple one is called Audacity. That's spelled Audacity. I'm going to post this entire panel on YouTube so you can find it, and it's on those links there as well, so you can go back and listen to this. It's called Audacity. It's absolutely free, and it's where a lot of podcasters use. It is a wonderful learning tool, and you can go on YouTube and watch plenty of tutorials that'll get you going, but it is very point, click, drag. It's a super simple program to use. If you want to be using video, you know, the most popular is obviously going to be the Adobe suite of products. That one's high quality, but it's also very expensive. One that I've really fallen in love with is called Wondershare from Filmora. That is a great one. It's just subscription based. You do $100 a year and you get all sorts of wonderful tools. It's got great graphics and things that you can use. It has a library of music that you can pull from and have like full legal use to use that music as well. So there's different really good editing programs you can use.
Are there ads on Audacity, or is it totally just a free?
100% free.
That's
Not
awesome.
not even ads. Nope.
They love to sneak ads into free things.
Yeah,
I just wanted to double check.
it's been one of the most useful tools, honestly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So for the workflows you were describing earlier, you guys take about 75 hours to set a full episode. I understand it may be a large question, but from workflow from beginning to end, how do you structure that? So do you, how do you plan the idea? How do you, organize the episode? Then how do you go about setting those steps in motion?
No, that's a wonderful question. So for our show, we say 75 hours because a big part of that is playing a video game. And so, that can take upwards of 40 hours just alone in itself. Now, as far as structuring the show itself, so what we've come to do is we watch interviews after interviews. If there was a behind-the-scenes documentary that was made about a video game, we're going to watch that. We're going to take as many fun facts as we can. We're going to listen to different interviews from the creators. We're going to read different things that we've found, and we're going to craft a story out of that to kind of create a narrative of how this video game was made. Once we get after that, we would go on and we find a great resource for us, our YouTubers that just do like a no commentary playthrough on a video game. And then we rewatch that after we've already played the game, and then we're typing out what we're watching. And that's how we kind of structure it out. Now that is where a lot of the time also comes into play. So if a video is 8 hours, probably takes me about 19 hours to like type that out, rewatching the whole thing. Because we are English majors. That's where we met. That's how we got to know each other. That's everything. So a big part was the narrative for us, and that's why it was so important. So the writing is a big thing for us. So yes, we are retelling other people's stories, but we're using our own creative writing to do so, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've guested on other shows where it's more conversational and it turns into about an hour of like, let's have a conversation and break the ice and get our energy up and get like some chemistry going. And then you record for an hour, hour and a half, and then maybe editing is another half hour to an hour. So that can be a full-fledged episode in 4 hours versus the insane way that we do ours, which is like very time consuming. So it can certainly range. And I know people who just go off the dome, record, and hit post, which makes me so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, but I say sometimes. I would never let that out.
Right.
So it can go, it varies. Your mileage will vary based on your perfectionism, your sense about how you want to structure things, who you're working with, how you're working it. Ours is just a wild format, very time consuming. But like half of it's playing a video game, which is very fun for me. So like,
yeah, and that's the best part of it, because you also get to really get engaged in your fandom. When we started this show, I remember in an episode saying, I don't even know what a game engine is, but I guess it's how they make the video games. Now I can tell you the country of origin for the Red Engine and being in Poland. You know, like I have all this new knowledge. I became a much more bigger expert in a fandom that I already love to begin with, and that's going to be something that's going to happen with you as well, especially in your fandom. You're going to find out things you never knew happened, and then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, now I'm kind of the expert on this. And that's what's really cool is then you can sell yourself to other podcasts to become a guest on their show as the expert in that topic, and then you just get to promote yourself. They promote you. It's a wonderful thing. Ooh, and that's another big important thing. If you end up doing an interview show, make sure you get the person to agree to promote your show as well. I see so many times that happen where they get a great interview guest, like a big name, but they never made an agreement to have them promote it to their audience, so they never bothered doing it. So you got to make sure you get that agreement in when you're doing an interview show, especially.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yes?
We haven't listened to your podcast yet.
No, it's fine.
That's okay.
Favorite that you could recommend us to start with?
Oh, no, it's fine. The way I always like
Ooh.
saying it is, because our show, it's a single episode is a single game. So I always say just find a game that you love and start there. It's a really great way to start. But for me, my favorite episode that I've done, I would say God of War is a really good one to start with. Yeah.
I did an episode on Untitled Goose Game, and I promise you there is lore where a goose overtakes Margaret Thatcher and descends England into socialism, and the entire world takes place in a socialist utopia run by a goose. And when you play the game, it's a puzzle game where a goose is like, let's have a picnic near this nice bench. There's so much insane lore that is hidden in it, and I think it's funny.
Yeah, and it's all like, we don't do any fanon, it's all canon stuff too. So
Yes.
it's not just like fan theories on what happened, it is all canon stuff that happens on the show.
Yeah. You had a real answer, and I went, this is the silly goose that took over England. And he goes, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
It's important to have different kinds of personalities, too. The
Yeah.
contrast helps.
I gotta ask, which God of War, original or the remake?
I mean, it is the current one, yeah, the 2018 God of War.
The
yeah.
Santa Monica Studios version.
Yeah.
That is being turned into a TV show.
It is,
So
yeah.
excited.
They just cast it.
Because they're both awesome.
They are, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
T.C. Carlson has one flavor, Christopher Judge has another.
Absolutely. No, we give actually a pretty good detailed history of like the original God of Wars just before that one too.
Christopher Judge is gigantic, by the way.
Yeah,
I
you guys
walked
seen
by
him
him
out
and was
there?
like,
Oh my God.
oh, I understand why you were cast as Kratos.
Yeah.
All right. That's just what he looks like.
That's a
That's
large
awesome.
man, yeah.
He's so cool. Oh, I love it.
Well, wonderful. If there's no other questions. Oh, yeah. No, please.
Yeah, again, just for,
You're
Yeah.
great. Take your time.
so for pitching yourself as a student calendar, how would you guys go about setting that up? Like, do you have like a pitch deck? Is it
Yeah.
something that's pre-made, or do you customize it? You know.
Yeah, we do have a boilerplate pitch deck. I'm in marketing, a professional. I've been in marketing for over 10 years. Time went by so fast. I used to be young. But yeah, so I have a full pitch deck that kind of goes into who we are, what we do, a lot of our numbers. A slide with your numbers is always very important, of especially like downloads, social reach, if you have an email list, everything like that. With links to episodes and like clips and things like that. There's a lot of times where I'll just reach out on like an info at page and go, hi, I'm from the other castle. Here's a link to everything. Want to hang out? Want to send us money? Want to send us to something? I think there is stuff in our. I think we have a professional link tree that has that is a link that has like our pitch deck and all the fun stuff. I think this one's our social one. But yeah, I love a good pitch deck. Oh, I love a good pitch deck. Canva has fantastic templates. This is Canva. I love Canva. They can do so much for you. So if you're looking for like templates or places to start, they do have good structures there. Sometimes if you just ask people what their pitch deck is, they'll send it to you. I'll send it to you if you want to see ours.
Just reach out. We'll send it directly to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that will just send you their marketing materials if you ask and go, I would like to know this. And they go, sure, that's fine. So if there's a show or something that you're really passionate about, if you just ask, there's often a lot of ways you can just see what's behind the hood. People are usually pretty cool about it.
It's surprising how many yeses we get just by asking. Like we said,
It's cool.
That's how we ended up right here.
Yeah.
We just reached out and asked, and they said, yeah, sure, come on out. So we're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
We found out about this 3 weeks ago, not going to lie.
It was exciting.
Yeah, no, we're having a great time, honestly.
Yeah.
Any food recommendations in Portland while we're here? We got a night. I know, we got one night. If we have one night, where should we go? Laughing Planet?
Laughing Planet?
All right.
I will check that out.
She's the young, hip one. We're going to go with it.
Yeah.
So. Gado Gado?
Thai, like in other food, like Norway Thai or
Ooh, I love Thai
I know,
food.
yeah, that's on you.
That's awesome. Gotta loving. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
We're on it.
Thank you for answering our questions.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate you
Thank you
choosing
so
us.
much.
And best of luck on your podcast. Please send it to us once you guys get it up and going, okay?
We'll subscribe, promise.
All right.
Thank
you so much.
Oh, that was fun.
Thank you, you too.